Chicago, the Windy City. We all know the nickname. It's a city famous for its towering skyscrapers, deep dish pizza, and of course the relentless wind that sweeps in from Lake Michigan. But wind usually means lake breezes, not this. Not a suffocating dust-filled gust that turns the sky an ominous shade of orange. This was different. This was a brown, choking blanket of dust, swallowing the skyline whole. It was as if the city had been transported to another world, one where the air itself was a threat. Imagine standing on Michigan Avenue, the magnificent mile, and seeing nothing but a hazy orange glow. The iconic landmarks, usually bustling with life, were now ghostly silhouettes in the murk. Cars crawled, people coughed. It was like a scene from a disaster movie. The streets, normally filled with the sounds of the city, were eerily quiet, save for the occasional cough or the slow rumble of an engine. But this was real. This was Chicago on May 16, 2025, a day that would be etched into the memories of its residents forever. The city issued its first ever dust storm warning. Think about that for a second. A city known for its wind had never before faced such a dire situation. Chicago, a city built on wind, had never seen anything like it. The usual breezes that brought a refreshing coolness were now carriers of dust and debris. The air was thick with dust, reducing visibility to almost zero. It was as if the city had been enveloped in a dense fog, but this fog was gritty and harsh. Driving was dangerous. Walking was eerie. It felt like the city itself was holding its breath. The usual vibrancy of Chicago was replaced with an unsettling stillness, as everyone waited for the storm to pass. The culprit? Powerful winds. They swept across Illinois, picking up dry topsoil from drought-stricken farmlands. This wasn't just a Chicago problem. This was a massive dust cloud visible from space, stretching across the Midwest. But Chicago, with its location on the lake, got hit particularly hard. The wind, gusting up to 45 miles per hour, carried the dust hundreds of miles. It was a stark reminder of the power of nature and the potential consequences of our changing climate. The dust storm didn't come out of nowhere. It was a force of nature that had been building up for days, a monstrous wall of dust and debris that seemed almost apocalyptic. It was the terrifying climax of a brutal heat wave. The city had been baking under an unrelenting sun, with temperatures soaring higher and higher each day. The day before, Chicago had sweltered under record-breaking temperatures. The heat was so intense that it created a shimmering haze over the city, distorting the skyline. Midway Airport hit 95 degrees, shattering the previous record. The tarmac was so hot you could almost see it melting. O'Hare wasn't far behind at 93. The heat was suffocating, making it difficult for anyone to be outside for more than a few minutes. It was the kind of heat that makes you feel like you can't breathe. People were drenched in sweat, desperately seeking any form of relief, and it set the stage for the chaos that was to come. The atmosphere was thick with tension, as if the city itself was holding its breath. As the sun went down, the sky turned an ominous green. Then came the sirens wailing through the streets, warning everyone to take cover. Severe thunderstorms ripped through the city, unleashing torrential rain, lightning, and powerful winds. It was a night of chaos and destruction, a fitting end to a day that had already felt like the end of the world. Section 4, the city that stopped. The storm left its mark, a mark that would be remembered for years to come. The skies darkened and the winds howled, bringing with them a sense of foreboding that gripped the city. Over 47,000 homes and businesses lost power. Downed trees blocked roads, making it nearly impossible for emergency services to navigate. The city was plunged into darkness, and the hum of generators became the new normal. Schools in Gary, Indiana closed because they had no electricity. Children stayed home, their routines disrupted, and parents scrambled to find ways to keep them occupied. The silence in the school corridors was deafening. Even Beyoncé's concert at Soldier Field was delayed. Fans who had traveled from far and wide were left disappointed. The city was reeling from the impact of the storm. Then came the dust, a thick, suffocating blanket that covered everything in its path. The city that never stops, stopped. Public transportation ground to a halt, and the usually bustling downtown streets were eerily quiet. It was as if time itself had paused. People stayed indoors, glued to their windows, watching in disbelief as the orange haze consumed their city. Conversations were hushed, and the air was thick with anxiety. The storm had brought life to a standstill. It was a scene that will forever be etched in Chicago's memory. The storm and its aftermath served as a stark reminder of nature's power and the fragility of human life. The city would rebuild, but the scars would remain. Section 5. An ominous future? The dust eventually settled. The sky cleared. Life began to return to normal, but the memory lingered. The dust storm was a wake-up call, a stark reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of our world. It made us ask, if this could happen in Chicago, could it happen anywhere?